With these solving percents problems, I'm going to do the first one with the proportion method, which looks like this. And the second one I'm going to tackle with the equation method, just so that we go over both methods. All right, so we have is over of equals percent over 100, and we just need to figure out what goes where. So we just start reading. 43.68 is our first part, and it clearly goes with the is. Then the next part we have is what percent, so that goes together. And then finally we have our of and our 52. And so we now have all the pieces that we need to make our proportion. And so in our is spot in the top left, we have 43 and 68 hundredths. Our of spot is actually found at the end, which would be 52. An equal sign is always in the middle, and the percent is our variable. We don't know what it is, so we'll put X. And then 100, of course, always is the number in the bottom right. And so we have now a proportion that we know how to solve. We solve proportions by cross multiplying. So 52 times X we would write as 52X. And then luckily for us, we didn't even really need a calculator, because anytime we multiply by 100, it's the same thing as moving that decimal twice. So we wind up with 4,368. We draw our river, and now I'm going to let you do the rest. Think about how you would get rid of the number that you don't need there so that you get X by itself. Coming over to B, instead of the proportion method, which would work totally fine, I'm going to instead write an equation. So the first number is a whole number, so I'm just going to leave that as 66. Is mathematically means an equal sign. Now we get 150%, and anytime we have a percent when we're writing an equation, we need to bump the decimal back twice. And so 150% is the same thing as 1.5. Then the next word we see is of, which means to multiply. And finally, we have what number. Anytime we have a what, we know that that is our variable. So we have an equation. 66 is equal to 1.5 times x. We draw a river, and at this point I want you to think about how do you get x by itself and solve that equation for x.